Okay, so if you guys remember when I dropped the oil pan, I had to cut out the secondary part of the frame. Don't worry, the main part of the frame is still intact, not cut up. And I had to do that in order to fix my low oil pressure issue. Now, we could just leave it out and just keep on riding around like this. We could even destroy this Camaro like the Whistling Diesel channel. It destroys Ferraris and Corvette Z06s and whatnot. But you know what? We still care a little bit in 2026. So, in comes the lathe. We are machining a little piece here. And we're ending up, it looks like we're just doing a slot. We're going to end up going all the way through the middle section, and we'll have 2 bolt holes, one on either side. And what we're trying to do here, you gizmos, is put that piece around this piece, and then we're going to weld it in with our little Harbor Freight special there. And that way our secondary frame piece will be flanged, and then we'll weld flanges onto the cut pieces on the Camaro, and we'll just bolt it right back in. And that way we can bolt this in and out at will, and whenever we need to drop the oil pan or do whatever under there for some more clearance and access. Now, Chevy could have just done this for you from the factory, but we have learned that Chevy just cheaps out on stuff. I mean, yes, it's a cool car, big power, big Tremec, robust transmission, whatnot, cool styling, but then they do stuff like this, always cheaping out. And don't you go buying any new Chevy 2020 or beyond, because those V8s are just, I guess they're just eating themselves left and right. But yeah, so we got this block here, and we're going to machine it all the way through. I have a 1/2 inch end mill. I actually have all the way up to, I believe, 3/4, but I don't have the collet big enough to accept anything above a 1/2 inch shank on the back of any end mill. So yeah, we're going to weld this piece back in, and then long tube headers is in the picture. Oh, another thing here with the lathe, I was getting a little bit of slop here as I was trying to feed this saddle back and forth by hand, because once I have a load on my material in the milling head attachment on the saddle, I was getting some chatter back and forth, and I just knocked out the saddle gib to try to see if that was the problem. My saddle gib is not tapered, it's just one straight piece that sits at an angle with the saddle. And I took one apart at the machine shop when I still worked there, and it had a taper cut into it to kind of mesh against the saddle portion, so when you would drive them closer together, they would tighten up that gap that you see there. But this one's just a straight cut through. I don't see any kind of taper on it. So, other thing to note, these 5 screws, flatheads, gotta be careful not to strip out that flat. I almost did, and I see that those screws sit in each of these slots. So I'm thinking we're just gonna tighten it up real well and oil up, take these screws out, put that dab of oil on them, because keep in mind, this lathe is from 1936. We're not trying to break stuff, as in this ear that we may have already broken off when we had this whole assembly apart, trying to get this off of here. Once I knock the pin out, try to get this piece off that shaft. It is sad and sitting up here on the shelf here. See, it's kind of like a just a pot metal type material, what have you. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We'll try to get the slop out. If we can't get the slop out, we'll just feed it in very carefully by hand. We won't take too heavy of a cuts, because this, again, this is a small lathe, that I've said before in previous videos. I can't be taking too heavy of a cuts. I can't be putting, you know, giant pieces of work in the chuck and whatnot. So we'll just take our time, and I only have to go through a 1/4 inch of material. This is my sacrificial piece, so I don't drill through and then eat into my vise here. I don't want to do that. So my sacrificial piece will take the little bit of chewing up from the end mill once I make it through this piece. I'm already about 3/16 of the way through, which means I only have a 16th left, so I'm actually pretty close. And of course I disconnected power. Always de-energize before you work on stuff. Come on, that's safety first. I mean, especially where I work, you gotta like turn off 10 breakers before you work on the thing. Just kidding. Okay, so we'll get this back up and going. Don't tell Brucey I have a welder, because he was asking me if I could weld up stuff for him. I just am not at that level yet. Got to get me a little practice there. And yeah, I think that's all I got about to say. Oh, but I've been cleaning up the edges of that frame piece that I cut off with the grinding wheel. I'll probably touch it up with the little disc wheel I have. I'll take off some paint so I can have some clean metal to weld to. And I'll be making 4 of those flanges. Like I said, 2 for the piece I cut out and 2 to go on the piece either side of the frame that'll be bolted into. This is the little wheel that I can take off some paint and whatnot around the edges of that frame piece and weld it in. Do I need to tell you guys anything else? I've got a box full of material in here. That'll be for another video. And yeah, I got too much time on my days off, so I gotta figure out something to do. I mean, you can go to the gym, it only takes about an hour, so this is what we're up to. Besides grilling, gym, little machine shop, messing with the cars. Okay, so it actually worked a little too well, because now it takes a lot of force just to move the saddle now. So I'll actually back these out maybe just a hair. And keep in mind, if the way to know that these screws are in those holes in your gib key is that they're flush. If they're sticking out any more than like 1/8 of an inch, you know you didn't line it up with each of those 5 holes. So I'm just gonna back them off, maybe like a 1/8 of a turn lefty-loosey, and then see the action here if it's any better. Okay, so this is actually, it's still a little on the tighter side, but I'm gonna actually roll with it just for this little job that I'm doing, because there was a lot of chatter. I don't want to break flute off my end mill or damage my workpiece here, so I like the for this job, and then I can just adjust those screws out as needed. So let's go with it. Okay, re-energizing. Everybody watching, put on your PPE, because we're plugging in here on 120 volts here, and we will oil up our piece just a bit, and we'll take a cut live. Safety glasses, where did you go? I set you down for 1 second, and you take a walk. Okay, here's my power. Okay, everybody clear? Clear. I just closed the breaker. Now we'll feed it in here. And we'll just touch in. And then we'll just start working in here. I can only take a light cut on video because I have to try to hold this wheel, a little tension on it, because it just wants to drop down. So yeah, basically I'll just be working it all the way down. So yeah, we're just making chips slowly but surely. I'm gonna put the phone down and actually hold this in. I need to hold a little tension in as I go. Well, that's the idea. You get the gist. All right, we're gonna cut it there, folks, for the night. We finished one piece, and the tolerance top and bottom is pretty good. Side to side, you can see it's a little chopped there, but we can fill that in with weld, no problem. So one flange is done, and I already got my other piece cut. And now on the next one, I know that I don't have to go as wide. So I can tighten up that tolerance side to side. And I'll have a little bit more meat on the left and right sides for my drilled through holes for my bolt and my nylon locking nuts. We need more of those so the regular nuts vibrate right off over time. So that's what we got here. Thanks for watching. And I'll be machining more off video because I got to listen to all the AC/DC albums starting from the beginning, way back in, I don't know, 76, 74. So we'll see you guys in the next machine. This is kind of a machining slash Camaro video because the part is for the Camaro. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.